Guys, how are you? Thank you so much for joining the Royal We tonight. We're going to get started right now, guys. And we're about 5 after 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And tonight on the Royal We, what I want to talk to you about is when narcissistically abusive people, whether it's family, coworkers, or friends, what they're really trying to do when they are inviting you to be around, when they want your presence. It can seem so inviting. It can seem like they really want you there, but as we're going to talk about, it has nothing to do with wanting you there. Okay? I mean, they do want you there, but it's not for the reason you think. It's not because they like having you around. It's not because they love you or care for you or even consider you. It's for another reason altogether. This is really important, especially when we deal with certain family members, coworkers, or friends. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to go ahead and say hi to all the people signing on and see how you guys are doing tonight. How are you? Hi there, Taylor. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, Taylor. How are you? Hi, Liz. Hi, Yola. Hi, Ash. Good evening. Hi, Live Life Happy. Blue. No, Blue, you missed nothing. You're here. I'm happy you're here. So glad you're here. Amy. Good to see you. Dark and Lovely Femme. Hi, how are you? Brown Girl Love, how are you doing? Barb, Kim, Gina, it's so good to see all you guys here. Christ Castillo, you're legit, man. You are legit. Thank you for being here. And I'm doing great, Taylor. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Blue, there's a little bit more music for you, right? There you go. Blue wants the music up. See if I can give her some more here. How was that, Blue? Hopefully that's enough. All right, enough of the music, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's topic. We're going to be talking about abusive narcissists and why they invite you over. This is so important, guys. It's especially important, and there's a lot of different directions that we can take off with this, but I really want to focus on just the primary reason for why abusive narcissists even invite you over to begin with. And this is particularly true for family. All right. If you're dealing with abusive family members, abusive, narcissistic hierarchies, if you will, of families, which most family structures are narcissistic hierarchies where you just do what you're told. You fall in line. You fall into place within the family. This becomes a real problem because as you become an independent empath, which you are, you're highly sensitive, emotional, independent. You know that you have good to spread throughout the world, and you would rather not be around people who are miserable, angry, want to yell, want to fight, want to control and assert their superiority and their dominance and their bullying, which is what narcissistically abusive people do. And a lot of families will almost demand that you show up for their events. They'll demand that you show up, for Christmas time, for example, or their Christmas Eve dinner. And what's interesting about it, or first they won't really ask you if you're going. They'll just say, "Hey, you're coming, right?" kind of a thing, and you typically go. But then they treat you like crap. They treat you like dirt. So the way they treat you, whether it's your family, coworkers, or friends, the way they treat you is the way they feel about you. It doesn't matter if they say, "I love you." If they're treating you like crap, then that's how they feel towards you. And narcissistically abusive people feel this way towards other people. You're less than. You're not as good. I can't stand you. You irritate me, but I want you over. I want to invite you over. So why is this? And then furthermore, what's really annoying about it is then when you say, I can't deal with this because I'm not the person to sit around and fight and argue over stupid stuff with you. I'm not going. I'm not going to show up. They throw a fit. Why is this? They've already shown you, narcissists have shown you that they don't care for you, don't like you, don't want to hear anything that you have to say, don't want your input. They don't want you there, but they do want you there. Confusing. Are you confused? I was confused too. Why did they want me there? It wasn't until I realized, or why did they want me there? Why did they say they wanted me there? Why did they attack me when I was there? And then why did they attack me when I wasn't there? Right? Making me out to be this. They made me out to be a horrible person when I was with them, trying to love them. And they made me out to be a horrible person when I decided not to go around them. Is this your story too? because that was my story. It's a no-win situation. So what is it? What is it? Well, the truth of the matter is that when they invite you over, it's not because they care for you or want you around. It's not because they enjoy your presence at all. It's because it's all about them and their image. You accepting their invitation to their territory looks good to them. And that's the only reason they do that. By having you there, they feel power. Look at all the people. Look at all the people that are here. You know what? Yeah, that's right. People love being around me. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with loving you, caring for you. Most normal people like you and me, when we invite people over, we treat them special. We treat them as royalty. We serve them as our guests. And you're grateful and you're thankful. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come visit me. No, not narcissists. Narcissists stand in front of their house like a ringleader in front of the circus tent saying, come one, come all. Come watch me. Come watch our show. Be a part of it. And if you don't, you're a horrible person. How dare you? Families are notorious for this. Narcissistic hierarchy families are notorious for that. Come on over. We're the best. And if you don't, oh, how dare you? How dare you insult us? Insult our invitation. That right there is proof when they do that, when they get that attitude. How dare you not show up? That's proof that they don't care about you. They're not upset because they miss you. They're not upset because they're missing out on you. No. That's not what narcissists care about. They're upset because how dare somebody decide not to show up? How dare somebody minimize their superiority, their amazing invitation to their amazing place and house and party and Christmas Eve dinner. Oh my gosh, it's their tradition. Who dares to not show up to their tradition? It's terrible. It's ridiculous. And the best decision I've ever made was to say, oh well, I'm going to go start my tradition where we don't call people names and, do all that kind of stuff. We're not going to do that. Right? And they can't stand that. That insults them, causes a narcissistic injury. You know what a narcissistic injury is. And it gets bad from there. That is the end game right there with abusive narcissists. When you implement your no contact and you stand up and say, no, I'm not going, right? That's kind of end game with narcissists because they can't make you go. So they're going to throw a fit. They're going to smear your name. They're going to make you sound like a horrible person. Let them. That's their end game scramble right there. How dare somebody insult us and not show up? Let them do it. Even if it's your family. I get phone calls all the time and, families treat people like dirt and then say, so-and-so is, are you going? But they don't say, are you going? Like, we care for you. We miss you. We want you there. They say, are you going? As in, you're going to show up or are you going to insult our family again by not being here? That is how twisted, backwards narcissists are. All right, guys? And once again, guys, it's very sad, but you got to separate yourself from that. Don't go and be around anybody who is not there to care for you, love you, welcome you, embrace you, and give thanks to you and show gratefulness that you are alive and well and you're there to visit them. Narcissists are not going to do that. Not your narcissistic mom, dad, brother, sister, they're not. They're going to be insulted that you choose to demand respect, and you deserve respect. Okay. Another issue, guys, you got to be aware of when you take an invitation from a narcissist, and then I'm going to take phone calls, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put the telephone number up there. Hope you enjoyed that. I was looking forward to talking about that. I wanted to talk about that for a while now. I'm going to go ahead and put the telephone number back up. But one more thing I want to talk about while we're waiting for a telephone call. Share your stories of your invitations that you've taken with narcissists, friends, coworkers, family members, where it clicked in. You realized that you were not welcomed and embraced and loved and cared for, and that they weren't grateful that you were there. They just weren't. They weren't thankful that you were taking your time to be there. Instead, they treated you like you had to be there. You had no choice, and they treated you like you're a jerk. They treated you just terrible. Call in and share your story about that to so that people know they're not alone. Another thing, guys, I wanted to tell you about this, though, is when you take an invitation from an abusive narcissist, whether or not it's family, friends, coworkers, whoever you're dealing with, you got to understand that once you go into their circus tent, right, you're in their world. And so what happens is they're very territorial, okay? So it's not one of these things where you can go into their world and say, okay, I'm here, treat me good. You need to treat me good if I'm going to be here. They're going to come back at you with, no, we're going to treat you however we want because you're here on our territory. This is another reason why it's important to go no contact, and it's so important to say no, don't go to their events. They will fight you on their territory. It's their territory. They make it seem like it's going to be okay, get you there, and then we got a call from Connecticut. Hang on, caller from Connecticut. One moment here while I wrap up my thought here. They'll get you in, and once you're in their territory. So I'm telling you right now from my own personal experience, if you don't want to deal with the mess and the name calling and the yelling, then stay out of their territory. Stay out of their house. The Bible says that bring your peace with you where you go. If your peace is received, then you've won them over. Great, stay there. If your peace is not received, so you go to your narcissistic family's house, friend's house, and they want to fight and yell and whatever, they don't receive your peace. It says to leave and shake the dust off your feet. And take your peace with you. It says bring your peace back with you. Don't lose it, meaning don't stay there and fight with them. Bring your peace back in and say, okay, I got to go, right? And leave, shake the dust off your feet. This is important, guys. Narcissists are territorial. They operate on their territory. You'll notice that they typically sometimes act different when they're elsewhere. But if you step into their circus tent, if you step into their house, doesn't matter if you're family, friends, or not, and they start fighting with you, you can't fight back. It's their world, and you're in it. You're better off just getting the heck out. All right, caller from Connecticut, thank you for calling, and thank you for holding your live.
You're welcome. Hello, Kevin. Hello, everyone out there. First of all, I just want to thank you for taking my call tonight, and I'm so glad that I was up. I always mean to call in, but I always fall asleep. But tonight, I just kind of wanted to call in because it's very true. You have to get out. You cannot go into their circle. And I kind of want to just kind of share a story that I experienced, and I kind of want to hear what your intake about it is. About a year ago, a little less than a year ago, God began to help me to heal from a marriage that I was in for about 5 years. And last May, God just began to speak to me about narcissism. I had never heard of what narcissism was. I didn't know anything about it. But when I began to see YouTube videos like yourself and others, it made so much sense. So anyway, from May of last year until this year, I did all of the work. I totally obeyed Jesus in every aspect. He told me cut everything off about this individual. He said marriage is over. Matter of fact, it was never a marriage, etc. And I did it. And I didn't want to hear or see or be around anything that was pertaining to this marriage that I once was in. So about September, I started noticing that on my Facebook, I would get these friend requests. And I immediately blocked him. I blocked every aspect, Kevin, that he could get to me. Because I was healing. God had really just taken me to a whole nother place, and I was just healing all around. Fast forwarding, this year, January 9th to be exact, I received a phone call, and I normally, everyone that connects with me, they're usually programmed in my phone, and the phone number said unknown, and so I just answered it because, I'm not running for bill collectors or anything like that. So I answered it, and it was him. And immediately I went through this. It was like I went into the twilight zone because from last May until January, hadn't heard from him, wasn't trying to take any calls. It didn't faze me when he was trying to reach out to me. It totally threw me off. Well, anyway, because I was stunned, and even with all the work that I had did for 8 months, I thought I would be better prepared and be like, well, just hang up on him, but I didn't. I kind of listened to
How
him.
long were you with him for prior to that?
I was since 2010.
10, 11, 12. Okay, so almost 8 years, 9 years, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm telling you right now, 8 months is not long enough. All right? You were in the beginning stages of recovery. Okay?
Right.
You're
Right.
still in the back and forth. Should I delete these people from social media? Should I not delete these people? You're still in the fight or flight as your body's going through it. You're probably still having flashbacks. You're probably still pacing around. I mean, depending on the type of relationship and the type of narcissistic abuse that you've experienced, you're probably still in a very confused state, right? It takes a couple of years, a couple of good years of no contact before you are in a place where you can get a phone call and just be like, dude, stop calling me and hang up. Okay. You
Right.
have to get to
Right.
that. So you're not at that place yet, but I want to encourage you and tell you that you're doing everything right. So you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. And now you are you're falling subject and you're falling prey to the hoovering attempt. That's a classic thing that abusive narcissists do. They hoover, and it could get very bad. It could get very confusing. Sometimes they can try to tell you they're sorry. Sometimes they can tell you they miss you. Sometimes they can, you know what I mean? They can make it very difficult. So this really is something that you have to continue to exercise on your own, and continue to be strong with your boundaries and strong with your resolve, right? So do you know why
Right.
you're going no contact? That's an important question.
Absolutely. This is it, Kevin. I cannot endure this individual.
There you go.
And the reason why I called you, to be really honest with you, is because I felt that I was deceived again. Because the call came under unknown. I would have never answered him. I am totally past him. He is wicked. And what happened was, because I allowed him, and I like what you said, because obviously it affected me. It affected me the way when that call came in, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going backwards. Like, what was that? Why didn't I know? Why didn't I see? And so, for me, the reason why I was calling as well is because I went through, so he called me, he called me a week later or whatever, and I kind of
Right.
answered him because I felt like, hey, I'm kind of okay, over him and da 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 da. But the thing, what happened was he did it again.
Sure.
He began to treat me wicked, and the emotions that came through to me were
Right.
shame and guilt.
Yeah.
I felt so like I totally cut. I mean, I haven't spoken to him in weeks, but this, like, the devil in him just wanted to make me feel shame or guilty for even speaking to him. And so I
No.
thank God, though. I have
Yeah.
to tell you, I thank God that I kind of.
It seems like you're doing it seems like you're doing everything right, okay? And you have the right mentality about going no contact because you understand that you want nothing to do because of your own health and your own safety, and
Yes.
you want nothing to do with it. So I was looking to see if you where you were in that, because sometimes, people can go no
Right.
contact for the wrong reasons. Well,
Right.
I want to teach them a lesson or something like that. Okay.
Oh no.
I would
No.
say then you're on the wrong path, and you're gonna okay. So you're on the right path, but you have to
Right.
understand that your no contact is not rules that's applied to them. So you're gonna have to just be on guard for that. Be on guard for the hoovering.
Yes.
Be on guard for the phone calls. But just continue with your plan. Do what you're doing. It's gonna ding you every now and then. You're gonna feel that little blow. Oh my gosh, they're still there. But that will eventually
Right.
that will go away. It will go away.
Okay.
So you're on the
Okay.
right path. All right?
Thank you.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you for
I
calling.
enjoy your show. God bless you, and all of
Thank
you
you.
out there. Just keep on, trusting in God and keep going forward, because you will get over this, and you can. So thank you, Kevin. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you. Yeah, that was a very good call, and I'm very thankful for her. The phone line is open, guys. You're welcome to call in at any moment. I want to give a shout out while we're waiting for the next telephone call to our moderators who are just fantastic. Moderator Blue, thank you for everything that you are doing. Blue is doing a great job of just posting videos and resources for you guys. She obviously cares a lot for this community and for each and every one of you in this community. And so be sure to give her a virtual love there, virtual hug. Give her a big shout out. Taylor Zabel, thank you so much, Taylor, for being here. Thank you for all that you do and for all of your caring and your kind and your amazing support and your welcoming spirit and your attitude. You are so much appreciated. So everybody, give Taylor Zabel also some love. And then also D Doll D, thank you so much for being here as well. D, you are an amazing part of the community. Everything that these moderators are doing is just it's mind-blowing just how amazing they are and what a help and what a support they all are. So a big round of applause for all the moderators. Thank you guys so much for that. And now the phone line is open, guys, and so we're going to take more phone calls. And again, the topic of tonight's show was to talk about the invitations that narcissists invite when they invite you over, what it's for. They obviously are not inviting you over. They don't want you around because they care for you and they appreciate your company. That's not what narcissists invite you over for. They invite you over so that you can honor them. It's really sad. It's really pathetic in a way, but it's honoring them when you go over to their territory. When they invite you over, you take that invitation. It's in 100% to honor them, 100%. And but it's not at all in an effort to show you that they care for you and they want to spend time with you. It has nothing to do with that, okay? Because they don't. If they wanted to spend time with you and care for you and concern for you, then they would do that. They would invite you over and just find out how you're doing and want to be able to offer any help. They'd contact you at different times just to see how you are, but that's not what goes on. And you know that. They don't contact you. They don't care about what's going on in your life. They invite you over, and if you don't take it, they're insulted. And they're insulted because, again, it's knocking down their attempt to look good to you and to everybody else, because that's all they care about. It's all narcissists care about. And this is why it's so important to go ahead, cause that narcissistic injury, say, no, I'm not playing your game, and have your narcissistic injury. Because the reality is what we need to be able to say without using words. See, abusive narcissists use their words to beat people down. They will tell you, you're not special, you're not that great, you think you're better than everybody else, you're selfish, you're this and you're that, and you're dumb and you're stupid. This is how narcissists talk to people. So you and me, we need to, through our actions, say things back in a way that protects ourselves and keeps ourselves healthy. So the way in which you do this is when they invite you over, you just don't go. And you just don't. You say no. No. Even if it's your family. Or you coming over to Aunt Tilly's Easter egg hunt? No, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to take my kids. We're going over to the park, and we're going to hang out with people at the park or whatever. How dare you? Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, you feel that way. And through your actions, you're telling the abusive narcissist that they're not that special. You're not that special. You're and that's important. To let them know that you're not special enough to call me names, demean my family, devalue me, and then expect me to be there so you can feel good about yourself, right? So that's really important, guys. We got another call from Connecticut. You're live on the Royal We. Actually, it's from Wisconsin. You're live on the Royal We.
Hi, this is Jenny. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I was just calling in because I had recently discarded the narcissist, I guess you can say. A little background. I was in a relationship with a narcissist for about the last 2.5, 3 years. And I recently had to get a restraining order. This person keeps violating and trying to come back into my life and harassing me. And he just got out of jail about a month ago, and I had to keep contacting the authorities. And so he's actually on the run right now. But in relation to the topic that you're talking about tonight, I had blocked all contact, any social media, anything like that, and he's kind of doing the last minute stitch effort, like you were talking about, posting things on Facebook and saying I'm vindictively calling the cops on him and trying to ruin his life, and obviously not taking responsibility for anything. And I unblocked private calls because I figured that the police would be calling to kind of say, hey, we found him, or updates with the case or anything like that. And he had called recently, and right away he's kind of almost expecting, going from, obviously this is all your fault and you're ruining my life, to expecting me to be waiting for him until once he comes back, because I think since he's repeatedly offended the restraining order, I think he's going to be in jail for 9 months to a year. So,
right.
Yeah. But anyway, it's kind of, obviously the whole game of, them just always expecting you to do everything for them, not taking responsibility for anything. But
very true.
I'm trying to obviously work through, I recognize a lot of people have issues with not missing them or having any contact or anything like that. So I've tried hard to not have anything, but it's very difficult, obviously. And
it is very hard. It's not an easy thing to go no contact. A lot of people think it is. It's not easy to say no, right? Do you know the pressure that's put on people? This is it's the biggest exercise you're going to have for your independence, is to say no. And there's a tremendous amount of pressure, especially if you have multiple people who are starting to come down on you. Say, well, that's not, it really is a struggle. You're breaking free. Okay. Breaking free is never easy. Right. So, but it sounds like you're doing the right thing. And so you are taking responsibility for your own life. That's what you have to do. Don't take responsibility for whatever happened in the relationship and what fell apart. That takes two. Relationships take two. Okay. And all you can do is take responsibility for yourself. If somebody else is not taking responsibility for themselves, then you cannot take responsibility for the whole relationship. It's better just to get out.
Right.
Right.
And he's, obviously, there was a lot of infidelity on his end, and he tried to always project that on me, and
right.
So it was a big thing that he always tries to guilt me and make me feel like, well, you're going to be seeing another guy, and you're going to be doing this, and
right.
I'm trying to, through the relationship, he's manipulated financially. I would feel like I'm doing pretty well, and I'm trying to put a huge garage and house addition on, and he was trying to run the show on that. It's a lot of toys and everything in terms of power sports and vehicles and whatever. And I started getting rid of all that and taking away, I guess, those privileges and not being in my life and whatever that he abused. And it's just, he would, always constantly criticize everything, and it was just never enough. And I know that
sad.
On the other end too, with the authorities, and at one point in time, they had confiscated my phone to prove how much he was harassing me, and there's actually a pretty significant charge against him that I could pursue. And it's I almost don't even want to do that just to keep him out of my life. But you want to have him take responsibility for actions, but it's just like I said, to the point where I don't know if it's even worth the extra drama and attachment to them.
They're not going to take, you can't go back and make them take responsibility for their actions. They don't know that word. They don't take responsibility for anything. However, this being said, and I'll say this for the entire community, you have to understand that you cannot step in the way of their consequences. One of the things that, for some phenomenon of a reason, us empaths get in the way of narcissists experiencing natural consequences in this life. So what does this look like? Well, you get in a fight. The narcissist throws his 5-year-old temper tantrum rage, like sometimes they do, picks something up, throws it at you, hits you with it, and then you call the police, and Police come over, and by that time, the narcissist has already started crying or sobbing. I'm sorry, or I was mad, or this and that. Police say, okay, we're going to press charges. What are we going to do? And you say, no, I'm not going to press any charges. It's okay. What just happened there? We stepped in the way. Police saw something wrong. Everybody saw something wrong, but we step in the way of the consequences that they're supposed to deal with. This happens all the time. It drives even law enforcement nuts. Listen, we're getting tired of being called out here. It's the same thing all the time. Fight breaks out, we get called, and then everybody here just says nothing about it. Right? We have to stop stepping. We don't have to make them take responsibility, okay? But we've got to stop stepping in front of consequences they should have. If they spent all their money and they're poor and they're broke, don't give them any money. If they've gone out and they've slept with other people and they're cheating, don't give them anything. All right? If they are leaving, running around, doing whatever, let them go. Stop rewarding bad behavior. We all need to stop rewarding bad behavior. If they treat you bad but invite you over, don't go. If it's your mom and your dad and you've always been the scapegoat, stop showing up. These are natural consequences that narcissists, abusive people should be experiencing in life. But we've got to stop giving them that control, right? This authority that they think they have. They have no authority. They have no control over you. It's like there's some kind of a spell or a brainwashing that's been cast over your life, and you think, well, I've got to be there. No, you don't. You don't got to do anything, right? And the sooner we realize that, the sooner we step out of the way of the abusive narcissist consequences. Let them go homeless. Let them go broke. Let them lose their relationships. Let the relationship that you're in with the narcissist, and I'm talking to everybody out there, let that relationship die. Let it die as a consequence of an abusive person. Let the relationship die.
Yeah,
let it go.
I feel like I've done that pretty well in terms of it used to be, live here for free, pay for everything, borrow money, borrow cars, all that kind of stuff. And obviously I've cut all that stuff off. But,
good for you. Good for you. You have no business being there, supporting it. Listen, you don't need a child to take care of in life, right?
No,
you need a man to partner with. This is the other thing too. If you want to hang out and be with a childlike man, then that's what you're going to get, is a childlike man. And I'm sure it can be fun and cute sometimes, and it could be hot and steamy and in childish teenage ways. But what's going to happen when you need a real grown-up adult? You're going to be let down big time, right? So
right. I think one of the biggest things that I kind of thought about was even just thinking about marriage. It's like I couldn't stand at the altar and look at you and be like, yeah, you're not going to hurt me, or you're not going to abuse me or cheat on me or whatever ever again. And it's like I couldn't even make that kind of
right
commitment to somebody, or I don't know. I mean, I appreciate I started kind of educating myself probably about within the last 4 months or so, and that has helped me immensely with kind of taking a step back. And I did help when he was locked up at the last couple months to actually step away and see everything and not be kind of manipulated and brainwashed anymore. And so it's definitely, I would say, an improvement, but I understand that it's, quite the process. And so there's a lot of time that it takes, but I do appreciate everything you're doing. And
you're welcome. Thank you for calling in.
Every night.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. All right. Keep on keeping on. Thank you for calling. Yeah. Bye. All right, guys. We'll have time for one more telephone call before we get to that phone call. I want to let you guys know that if you would like to be a supporter of the Royal We, then you can do that on the homepage of the Royal We channel on YouTube. There's a PayPal link there, and you can donate. You can donate once a month. You can donate monthly cycles. You can donate however you'd like to donate. That'd be great. Also, you can support the Royal We through purchasing merchandise. There are T-shirts, and you can find the links to the T-shirts and things in the description box below this video. It's an excellent way to show your support of the Royal We. I highly encourage you to check it out. Also, guys, there is a course that's available, and through the course, the Royal We course, it is geared and centered around one-on-one time with me as we counsel and go through what it is you're going through and your understanding of narcissistic abuse. So there's a lot of one-on-one time. And then also it's modular, and I'm going to be including more modules to the course, including a upcoming no contact checklist. We're going to work out a no contact plan. So for those of you guys who are interested in that, it will be coming out shortly. But the first part, which is acceptance and understanding, is available. That course is available. You can find all that stuff in the link below. All right, so let's go ahead and take this last call from San, and well, I've got 2 calls coming in. I'm going to take Ohio, and you're live on the Royal We.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's going on?
This is Live Life Happy. How are you doing?
I see your name out there in the chat a lot. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I mean, I'm doing okay, I suppose. Yeah, I've called in the past. I called one other time. But my story was I have, children, or a child by my ex-narc, and we went through some abuse. But I'm calling about, don't mean to change the subject on what you're talking about tonight, but I'm calling because I have to break contact tomorrow. I have to go to a child support review. I have not spoken to him in over 5 months, and I am literally freaking out about this.
Well, what's it going to look like? Share with us what you know about how it's going to look like and why you have to be there. What is this thing?
It's to determine how much he has to give me for child support to help me take care of his daughter. He has not spoken or even tried to contact me or his daughter since the abuse with my middle daughter. But I filed for it because I feel like he needs, to help me in some way or another with her. And this is why I have to do this.
Why do you have to be there?
We both have to be present. I tried to not be present with him. I even called and asked if we could do it separately, and they told me there was no way that was possible. So I actually missed the first meeting because I chickened out. I couldn't face them, but they rescheduled it, and I'm due to go again tomorrow. So I'm just
rough.
Absolutely terrified.
Well,
yeah.
And I would be too, especially because you have to go against your will, right? But I'm guessing that,
right.
But you have to go because you're trying to get money from him. I think that, personally, I would think this is something that if you had attorneys, they could work that out and you wouldn't have to be present. I don't understand why you have to be there. I mean, what are they expecting? You guys to sit down and look at each other and talk this out? It's not going to happen. You wouldn't need attorneys if that was the case, right? So, that kind of baffles me. But if you're in a situation where you don't have any choice, then I mean, that's a hard one.
I know it's a tough situation.
I'm not for you going. I'm really not. I'm not for you going and being a part of this thing as far as that goes. But you have to do what you have to do to survive. And so it looks like somebody in the chat room is saying that courts mandate mediation. Okay. So courts do make you go. They mandate mediation, which is really harsh. Kind of sets you up to be in a situation to where you can be where you can be bullied. And sometimes with narcissists, they can bully you without even saying anything, just their gestures, right?
That's exactly what I'm afraid of right now. I know he's going to love bomb me because he's no longer with his new supply, and I know that's his next step. That's what he's going to do. When you're with someone for so long, their games and what's going to come next, obviously, and I know that's what's going to happen. I'm just
the best advice I could give you, okay, is to, first of all, you're going to have to do your best to relax and get into a better place in mind. Know that you're not going there to fight. You're not going there to get answers for whatever happened in the relationship. You're not going there to get an apology. You're not going there to resolve anything or fix the relationship. The relationship is dead. You're going there for one reason and one reason only. And that's
I just need to get my mind straight for what the reason is, and try to forget about the other
reason,
things.
The reason is for your daughter, and that's it.
Right.
And so with that in mind, you don't get sucked into any love bombing. You don't get sucked into any conversations whatsoever. You keep it straightforward, and you stay close to your attorney or whoever's there with you. And I mean, you stay by them real close. Try not to be alone. Try not to wander off and find yourself alone to where the narcissist can talk to you one-on-one. That's the biggest tip of advice. Okay? Don't be caught alone. Don't be caught in a corner. Don't be caught in an elevator. Don't be caught anywhere where you got to be alone, because they will creep up on you in these places, right? So just stay there. Try to make sure everything's timely. So you're there. You're by the side of the attorney. Stay by the side the whole time. Don't worry about what to say. Don't worry about fighting. Don't worry about defending yourself. You guys are both there for one reason, to go ahead and get this money thing resolved. And then when you're done, get the heck out as fast as you can. Done day. Call it a day. So, and there's a scripture in the Bible. It says when they take you to the courts and this and that, don't worry about what you're going to say ahead of time. Meaning in the time in advance, like right now, don't worry about it. Okay? It's the worrying now, and it's the worrying in the morning that might cause you to stumble, okay? Instead, find peace, find relax, and know that in the morning you'll have, at the time you'll have the right things to say, okay?
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you so much.
Give us a call back and let us know how it goes, all right? Share some advice and tips, and look forward to doing that. We're going to send you out as a field representative for the Royal We, all right? And your mission is to contact us back and give us some tips and advice on that situation. How's that sound?
All right. That sounds great. Thank you so much,
All right.
Kevin. I appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I wish that, I there's a lot of these cases, because we want to go no contact. We want to make sure. Man, that even kind of gets my eyes watery, that caller. It's hard, because I know how your emotional health a lot of times depends on your ability to stay away from these people. And then I was just reminded with this phone call that there may be times where you have to be there. You might have to face them, right? And we're not, and it's not an issue of being weak or anything like that. It's just a week of been through so much trauma, you just wish they would be out of your life. I understand that. You wish that you would not have to deal with them, but you do. But we're called to be courageous, and courageous doesn't mean you go ready to swing and fight and throw out words. Courageous means that sometimes you just show up and do what you are supposed to do. So I applaud her, and I'm thankful that she called and shared that, and that she's going to be courageous. She's going to do what she has to do and just show up. That's courageous enough. And let their attorneys deal with it and get the money that she needs to get for her child, and she wins out of that situation. And hopefully she'll be able to stay away from any of the negativity. Hopefully she'll be able to stay positive, and she'll stay strong. And then hopefully she'll call us back, report back, and let us know of these situations and how difficult that can be, but how courageous she was and how she was able to get through it. So I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me live on the Royal We tonight. It was a great show. We're going to be back tomorrow night, 10 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And I look forward to being with you guys there. If you did not get on the telephone tonight, if you did not get your call answered, call tomorrow night, save your question, and we'll get through tomorrow night. All right? And I did see a lot of good questions. I saw questions wanting to know more about my story. I have sprinkled bits and pieces of my story all throughout my videos, but I guess at some point it would be good to just get it all out at one time so that it flows in a way. And I know a lot of people want to know what the Royal We stands for. guys, we're going to get there when the time is right. I will share with you all about the name the royal we. There's a lot of good stuff coming, guys, and I just hope that we stay encouraged and positive. I want to thank you guys for being here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night live right here on the royal we. Have a great night, everybody.